Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel and happy Saturday morning to us all. Happy game day. Obviously, game day kicks off in just under 3.5 hours. Spurs at home to Newcastle in what might be the weirdest, most ridiculous situation I think I've ever seen a football club be in for a little while. I'm going to talk about it in a second because this game is a game that I had some optimism going into, and I can't lie. And it's not because the players are rubbish. It's not because the manager's rubbish. It's not because, anything like that. Back in the mid-2000s, there was a certain thing called Lasagna Gate. You know it very well. I've just made you shudder. You're sitting there watching this going, oh, no, don't do that. Don't. I know it all too well, Andy. Don't do that. And I'm like, look, I'm trying not to. But Spurs obviously having as many people out injured and suspended as they do, right? We knew about that. And that's not great. But you can somewhat have a fighting chance because, you still got some good players. You've got Madders, you've got Kulu, you still got Sonny and Solanke, and then they go, oh, there's a bout of illness going through the squad as well now. This feels like if you're a Catholic or a Christian, it feels like one of those battles that God's put through people to test their willingness, right? It does feel kind of like that at the moment. So just to give you a heads up, supposedly Fraser Forster is not playing today. Okay, supposedly. He was one that was ill. Dragoshin and Archie Gray, the two centre halves, were ill, as well as James Maddison. Four guys. So Spurs right now, to give you a heads up, are now on to their third keeper, which will be Brandon Austin. It's something that I wanted to see if Brandon Austin was any good. Didn't want to see it in this way. The irony of it, I know. We're not going to have our left back. We're not going to have our first two centre backs. We're not going to have our third choice centre back, and we're not going to have potentially our fourth and fifth choice centre backs if Dragoshin and Archie Gray cannot play. We're missing our starting number 6. And the backup number 6 is probably going to be playing centre half. We're missing potentially our captain. Supposedly they reckon Werner's coming in for Sonny. They say Sonny might be on the bench. We're missing our backup striker, our then backup 2 left wingers as well. So what a ridiculous situation we found ourselves in. Injuries and suspensions. I mean, Bentancur's suspension was a joke in itself, but you would think at some point luck has to start going your way. If this was real life and this was your personal life or anything in your own life, you'd say, God, I've been kicked and kicked and kicked. It's about time something went my way. God, us Spurs fans just get kicked on the bloody daily, don't we? I mean, we're missing so many people. It's just ridiculous. This is what I would say is somewhat of a little bit of a crisis. Now, I saw fans going, God, Ange looks like he doesn't even care. Why is he not kicking Daniel Levy's door in? It's like, okay, well, let's not threaten people. That's not the way you do this in the world. Having a calm figure is actually probably what this fan base needs more of at times, But there's no reason why him and Daniel Levy haven't had that conversation to say, mate, we need people. We need people ASAP. Because this is what it is. So, look, today's going to be a bit of an interesting one. Will we get through it? I feel like for any chances that we might get, we might need to score. Okay, because I think we might struggle to get chances at times. I told my friend who's a Newcastle fan, I said, look, he said, hang on, have you got loads of injuries? I said, yeah, we do. And he was like, yeah, it's similar to us last year. And I remember Newcastle's injuries last year. And, that's why Newcastle struggled so much for whilst they were injured in all those competitions. And then I messaged him yesterday evening and said, oh, we've also now got 4 players potentially out through illness. And he went, okay, you might just outdo us from last season. I went, yeah, it's not a race that I want to win, but it's a race that unfortunately I'm having to win. We'll see though. We'll see, because the world works in mysterious ways. There's nothing to say that these guys, or at least a few of them, wake up this morning feel pretty good to go, and they go. I mean, Dragic was injured last game, still played through it. So, of all the people, Archie Gray and Dragic are probably the two that I'd sit there and go, they'll end up still playing somehow. But we'll see on that one, you know. Not a late kickoff again. Sorry, it's the 12:30 p.m. kickoff, UK time, by the way. Sorry, UK time, if I didn't mention that. Hey, Marshall, mate, is Yang on? Well, Andrew said he doesn't want to rush Yang. He said he wants to let him take his time and get used to sort of being in a new world, and a new country, and a new way of living. Totally get that. No issues with that. I thought Mikey and Richie would be back. They said he'd be training this week, but apparently they need more than a week worth of training. So we'll see about that one, you know. Yang's at left back. Morning, Sonia. How are you? Yeah, Yang's going to be like another Archie Gray, isn't it? Archie Gray, he's playing 8 different positions. Yang's playing the other 3. Archie Gray goes out with an illness. Yang, you're playing 8 different positions. Screw it, Yang, you're playing all 11. Easy 5-2, mate. All right, fair enough. You cannot make this up, not at all. I feel today is going to be a complete attack gung-ho line for life. Yeah, well, I mean, if we sit back, we're not winning. Anyone that thinks we should sit back, we're not winning. Just promising you that now. If you think we should, and you think we are going to get a result, sorry, I'm going to have to say you're very much wrong. We're not. Sitting back with this team is not going to do anything. Now, there's some irony. There's an irony to this all, where I was like, you know, it'd be good to see. You can see Alfie Dorrington and things like that. It's like the same thing where I say with Brandon Austin. I'd rather see them when I'm not having to force it. There's a chance Alfie's going to have to play today. And if he doesn't play, and this is the key thing that I will have an issue with Ange. If Archie Gray or Dragic can't play, it shouldn't be Basuma. Because Bentancur's out. Right? If Bentancur was playing, I might understand a bit more. But because Bentancur's not out, you play Basuma, you're probably going to need the energy of Pape Matar, and you have to play Kulusevski, right? Because if Maddison's out ill as well, right? Then you have Werner, Slanky, Johnson. God help us. And then obviously in defence, you know, you're going to have Spence at left back, Porro's at right back, Austin's in goal. Loads of I'm just telling you where the exits are on a plane right now. I know. Sorry, my hands. Dragic or Gray, if one of them can play, and Alfie Dorrington, surely. That's the way I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I'm thinking. Yang can give Newcastle. Let's not say that Yang is bringing that in, shall we? Let's be better than that. We're not those people. We had most of them against Chris Palace, Brighton, Ipswich, and Leicester. Irrelevant for today, Amin, but good try. Newcastle missing. Botman's back fit, Amin. Heard that they recalled Phillips because Dorrington fits back too, but I hope it makes Ange changes formation. There's not a lot you can do formation-wise, Jessica. There just isn't. If you're missing 16 players potentially, there's not a lot you can do. It's like I said, can you cook me a dinner? But I'm gonna remove this arm. I'm gonna remove a few of your fingers from this hand, and you're gonna lose a couple of legs. You'd go, well, how am I supposed to cook the dinner? Or I'd go, can you help me carry this big lump of this bricks on the building site? But you can only do it with one hand. And by the way, I need it all up here now. You'd go, well, how can I do it? You're kind of screwed, unfortunately, today. And that's how I feel. Can't say recalls, seen long lines. No, I think they're all staying. I think they will be looking to add at centre back. That's what I think they'll do instead. Who that is, we don't know. But regardless, the situation right now is, I just can't put into words how bonkers it is. Let's obviously be the channel that is always glass half full and try and be positive. That's what we are here, and we're a great community because we are a trying to be positive community. Let's say you got those 4 guys that are ill. Let's say one of them's back. One of them. Okay, I'm not even going to be outrageous to say all 3 are back. We already know Forster's out, so Austin's going to be in goal. Let's say it's Dragic. Okay, we've got a centre half there at least. Okay, because I know people give Dragic a lot of stick, which is hilarious because you know what? Yeah, he's the only damn guy that seems to play at the moment when he's not playing 100, when he's playing ill, and he's playing when he's injured as well. Could do with a bit more respect than Spurs fans at times. I think he could do with, but it's a centre half playing. You still got a few midfielders in there. You Kulu can play in midfield. Obviously, I don't think he's as good as Maddison at the 10. I think he plays better when Maddison is in the midfield with him because then it gives him license to get even further forward, knowing that someone can get him the ball. You still got Solanke, Biss, Pape. There's still some players. So, Spence in a bit of form. Ange said Ange saying look, he could nail down a regular position. And I'm like, I don't think, Ange, you've got a choice in this, unfortunately, bud. You have Pedro Porro and you have Jed Spence. And then I'm the backup. So unless you want me to play left back or play right back, I think they'll be your starting fullbacks for the time being. I know why he said it. He said it because obviously he's got a run of games now where he can nail down some form, nail down some positions, and maybe make a position his own. But also, I think Andrew will go, I don't really have much of a choice. They're going to have to nail down their positions. And you know what? It'd be so nice that we could have a bit of rotation. But alas, when you're missing, I think, was it 16 players? Rotation isn't a thing. It doesn't exist. Okay, so we'll have to see on that one. Looks like Heung-Min's woken up happy. To top the day off, mate, I woke up to find I got robbed now. I feel like a real Spurs supporter. I hope my team plays well and gives me some enjoyment. Win, losers, draw. I'll still support the Ange. Mate, you got robbed. Bloody hell. Jesus, mate. Oh, that's awful. Hope you're okay. Most importantly, mate, regardless of football, anyone here in the community, most important thing is, mate, I hope you're okay and hope you're safe and you're sound. I hope, do you know what? They give you some enjoyment as well. You might deserve it more than most people for today. Has anyone tried to find any video of Austin? I spent a long time looking and found nothing so far. Who knows, this guy could get a chance and go next level. What do we think? Well, we should be positive. There's people that are saying that, look, he's not played a game. He's obviously in his mid-20s, not played a game because he's not good enough. And they could be right. You could be right. You can't say you're wrong or right on that. There is some people saying, well, he's not played. So how do we know what we have? It could be a calamity. And I don't think judging him off today will be fair, by the way. Can I just preface this now? He's playing behind a real makeshift back line. Do not hold him to a standard where he should be keeping clean sheets and saving every single shot that comes his way. He's going to face an obscene amount of shots today. If he keeps it to 1 or 2, I think we should be saying, Brandon, I think you look pretty decent today. I think that's why we should be looking at it. Now, the positive thing is this, and Glenn, I really rate the comment on this because I think it's a really underrated storyline in this game is Brandon Austin playing. Let's say he does have a really good game. Let's say he concedes a single goal, but his distribution looks decent, doesn't look unfazed, set pieces, handles them pretty well. Would you be sitting there going, do we need to get a keeper? Now, I know they talk about, the Traffords and Pattersons of the Championship, but if Brandon Austin does well, he's in-house, he's homegrown, he's academy trained as well for the European side of things, which is massive. That's 10 times what a homegrown is. Save the money. Don't go get another keeper. Go and get an outfield player instead. Maybe that's the way I'll look at it. So I hope, Glenn, like you, bit of positivity could be going there. In terms of what you found of him, it's mostly preseason football. He's looked pretty decent in preseason. He didn't have to do too much, but didn't make anything stupidly mistakes-wise, Those players have already failed. Hi, Cozy. How are you, mate? Why players are missing? So we have players injured, as we know. Bentancur suspended, and we have 4 people out with illness. Suspension-wise, illness-wise, there's absolutely nothing Ange can do unless you think he is some sort of therapist/doctor. We need luck sometimes. Let it be today. And on the semi-finals, I'm asking too much. Cozy, you're not asking too much. But unfortunately, situation. I reckon Bergvall play. I would like Bergvall to play. I would. And I've been maybe one of the louder people on this side of things that I would like him to play. You've obviously got Liverpool in the week coming up. Okay. Now they play tomorrow with Manchester United. So they might rest players for that because Liverpool are incredible. They're in incredible form. They've got injury concerns are next to none. Konate, I've heard, is back. Bradley's back. Joe Gomez is out, but you lose Joe Gomez and get Konate. I mean, that's a massive upgrade, is it not? They might rest a few players. They might go, look, we can do Man United in with 70% of what our first team looks like. We'll rest a few players. They won't rest like a Salah. They won't rest like players like that. We'll then bring them in for Spurs at the weekends. Now, I don't know who they've got in the FA Cup at the following weekends. Obviously, we got Tamworth. I don't know who they've got. Excuse me, pardon me. Obviously, I know that we play Arsenal a week after we play Liverpool. Arsenal play Manchester United in the FA Cup. At home, I think. So, yeah, there's that. But regardless of that, Bergvall is going to have to play. I think Ange has to sit there and say, but he's going to have to play. Bergvall has to play some football at some point. Now, will it be this game? I don't know. If he's not playing today, I would hope to see him against Liverpool and rotating out. Hang on a second. We're missing players for Liverpool, aren't we? We're missing, is it Pape? We're missing Maddison. If I remember correctly, we're missing those two players with suspension, aren't we? We're missing Pape and Maddison for Liverpool in the week. So Bergvall, don't play him today. Play him in the week. Yeah, that's the way I go about it. Don't play him today because Pape's fit. Let Pape play. Play Bergvall in the week. Yeah, I think we're missing those two. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think we're missing those two. We'll get pumped with these Ange tactics regardless of injuries. 16 players out, Martin. Okay, nice one. When people talk about being cursed, I previously laughed, but given the news from yesterday, I'd now start to consider it. What rational explanation could explain our rotten luck? Mate, honestly, no. Do you know what? I don't even know anymore. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. Even the people that sit there and go, all of these injuries are down to Ange. Now, obviously, they're not saying all the injuries down to Ange because Ange apparently has broken Vicario's ankle himself, if they say that. But even the people that say that, they have no explanation for Bentancur or the illnesses, which is, bear in mind, 5 players. They have no explanation really in terms of it's Ange's fault for Spence being suspended for the last game. It's not his fault. Unless you want Ange to be on the pitch holding his hand going, no, don't make that tackle. Don't make that tackle because you might get booked. We'll just run together and run the other way, all right? Come on. But that you could I think he has some part to play in the injuries, for sure. Anyone should think that. He's the only one that has any fault, shows a real lack of maturity in the situation. But he is at fault for some of these injuries, absolutely. Medical teams seem to actually get away with this one scot-free quite heavily, which I think they hold just as much of a blame, if not more, than anyone else. Ben Davies should never have been coming back to training. He got injured in training. That's one of the worst ones. Oh, no, he's fine. He can come back to training. Gets injured a few days later. But he obviously wasn't okay to come back to training, let alone play a game of football. The Romero one, not interested in anyone saying that's Ange's fault. That's not Ange's fault. The guy injured a completely different body part. It's irrelevant. Okay? Be better. Be better. I'm fine. You make me feel good every night with your positive nature. Thanks for your great work, Andy. Appreciate it, mate. Most importantly, hope you're safe. Hope you're sound. And I know it's always quite an intrusive and invasive thing to go through a robbery. So, look, get yourself surrounded by some good people. I'll be live every day. Make sure you join and have a chat with us, but make sure you get surrounded by some good family and friends. That's my key thing there. And every now and then, try and slip away from reality. And, maybe it is watching football. It doesn't have to be Spurs. Maybe it's Villa-Leicester at 3:00. It's the only 3:00 game that I know is happening, by the way. So don't shoot me that. I know that. Maybe it's just watching that for a few hours, or maybe it's. I mean, the darts was on last night. The darts has been incredible, by the way. Maybe it's that. I don't know, but yeah, try and find something. All right. You've got Andy that Ange is also responsible for all the other Premier League teams' muscular injuries. Why do people hound our team? What type of supporter takes pleasure of our misfortune? Yeah, it's Ange's fault. What he does, right? He goes, Mickey, come here. Ben, come here. Right, I'm just going to take your hamstrings. I'm going to put them on you. I'm going to take your hamstrings and put them on you. There we go. Out you go, lads. I love it. Do you know what? Twitter's a miserable place, but Twitter this week has been making fun of people saying it's all Ange's fault, by the way. It's brilliant. I was like, do you know what? Twitter this week's actually been all right. It's not been miserable. It's because Spurs have not been playing every 3 days. Even though we've got barely 10 fit players, say, still feels like one of the important games of Ange's 10-year lose, and I think he's out. Well, look, if you're getting rid of him after a game like this, then we deserve absolutely bloody nothing ever as fans. Because God himself is not doing anything with 9 fit players. Fact. God's not doing anything with 13 fit players, which is what we had last week. We got no fitter. We just lost another 4 people. We lost another 25% of the available bunch. He's not doing anything with 16 fit players. Because playing 3 times a week with 16 fit players doesn't work. Having 9 people out doesn't work. That's why this window, you have to be going out there. I saw people going, this window's rubbish. It's like, did you expect a deal to be done in 3 days? Come on. This isn't FIFA. This isn't Football Manager. Deals don't happen overnight. They take days to get done. They take weeks to get done at times. Now, people have asked me, look, do you expect by the end of the first week of January to sign someone? No, I don't. I said, what? Hang on. So it'll be the 12th of January at the end of next week, right? It'll be after that game. That's when we'll sign someone. It'll be within that next week, right? I think it'll be about the 17th or 18th we'll finally sign someone. Now, some people would say, that's too late, Andy. And they might be right. I'm not going to deny it. They might be right. But it isn't the summer window. Summer window deals move a lot faster. January does not work the same. It's a very, very different window. Summer, you've got 3 months to get things sorted. January, you've got like 3 weeks to get it sorted. So it's a difficult one. I've been a fan of Spurs for 38 years. We have to remember we came from 8th and 5th. Most likely we'll end up 8th again, which is where the squad is. Look, you need to spend the money to get better. Look at Man City. Man City have spent obviously billions on their squad, right? They're having a bit of a down year. They're looking to sign Marmoush, Kusanov. They're looking to probably spend about 120 to 150 million. We're not that club. That's why I never compare us to Man City. Arsenal spent 100 million on Declan Rice. When are we ever going to spend 100 million on a player? That's not how it works, is it? It's not how it works. We're going to live in the real world. And that's because we don't have the owner that wants to do that. So comparing it, I mean, you get our fans comparing ourselves to like Arsenal and comparing to Liverpool and Man City, and it's like, and Chelsea even. And I'm like, the real world evidently does not exist when you think about football, does it? It's a shame. It's a shame. I wish it did. Hey, Kiwi Spurs TV, how are you, my friend? Or Kiwi Spurs TV. Hang on a second. Kiwi Spurs TV. Let's have a look at his channel, shall we? All right. How much TV is on Kiwi Spurs TV? It's loading for a second. I'll let it load. Hey, Baz, mate. How are you, mate? Hey, Don, how are you? Zainadin, I think it's how to pronounce. How are you? Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barbecue bottlers. Postcode getting away with it. Scott Munn. 2 players, left centre back, left back for even an outside chance. I'm not sure he's getting away with anything, mate. 16 players out. What reserves do you think he can call up? Say, well, you would have to say Alfie Dorrington's the main one. That's it. God, that's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, also, by the way, Kiwi Spurs TV. I don't see enough TV on your Kiwi Spurs TV. Oh, don't listen to him, Tom. Don't listen to him, Tom. I don't want to hear that. That's disgusting. All right. I don't want to think about 2011. All right. I actually don't want to think about 2024 with the Patriots either. Well, their first overall picks, we could trade with the old Giants and take up all their player picks. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Drew Lock, he's the guy. Every big six club spends so much money. They don't listen if they say they don't. They do. They do. Every big six club spends a lot of money. But you have to compare where some teams are spending money and where some teams aren't. Or when they're spending their money and when other teams are. You know, that's the combo. Agreed. Try playing Foot Manager 24. Sell Harry Kane, have all those high wage, poor players. You'd come lower than 8th. Oh, yeah. Cole Palmer costs 40 mil. No, it's never about the money. In theory, you get a guy who is right for the system. That's always the key thing. I agree. Too darn. So full. I've not reading that comment again. I'm going to. Kiwi Spurs makes one more joke about Eli Manning. All right. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. We are a Tom Brady fan area. All right. And Gareth Bale. Tom Brady, Gareth Bale. 66 viewers and 20 likes. Hey, Ted, mate, how are you? Wage Bill tells a story. Absolutely. To be fair, they didn't want Palmer, so 40 million was quite a lot. Well, it's great for financial fair play, isn't it? It's massive. So look, the game today, look, I don't see Spurs winning. I don't. Spurs drawing at a maximum, but I don't even see that with just the pure volume of injuries. So my key thing is don't lose your mind if Spurs were to lose this game. Okay? Don't. This isn't the game to do it. Other games previous, maybe. This is not the one. You get one of the more informed teams in the Premier League with the best striker in the Premier League against a team that's missing 16 potential players. If we win this game, my God, that is a small miracle. If we draw this game, that's a good result. If we lose this game, it wouldn't be shocking. Now, if we lose it 20-0, that might be a little bit shocking. But if we lost it like 3-2, it won't be shocking. And I won't be poo-pooing these players for this one game. Now, other games, I think they've let us down. This game, I wouldn't be calling them out. It's not the game for it. Winning this would be peak Spurs. Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? My point was there is value out there. They'd have to be 100 mil players. They don't. No, I'm not saying my point probably hasn't gone the way that it should have done. There's value out there for like 13 million. Look at Pape Matar, Desti Udogie, right? My point would be is, though, these clubs are willing to spend 100 million. We aren't. They're willing to spend big money. We aren't. I mean, they spent 50 million on a Ben White. They spent however much on a Timber, Calafiore, right? That's just in one area. We're not willing to spend that money. We aren't. We're willing to spend the odd 15, 20, 25 million. 25, 30 million budget quote for this. I wouldn't take much notice, Paul, of any budget being quoted right now. No one actually really knows. And also, you've got to take into account when you talk about budgets, you have to talk about all the things that go into a deal. It's not just this player's being signed for 15 million. No, it's all the stuff that goes around that 15 million as well. So that's why I say don't take any notice of it right now. Don't take any notice. Just we'll see how it goes into January, and then we can have a look at it. The player market is so inflated. The effect of Neymar transfers broken football. That and Mbappe. But then Chelsea have also annihilated it as well. Levy's not playing tonight. We're at number 8 in wages in the Prem. This is all the players left. Last year was 6th. We saw a lot of players that could have helped out. Look. I mean, Skip would have been an extra player in Europe. Højbjerg, we would have had to have kicked another player out of the European squad. Skip probably would have had more value this year than a Højbjerg, just in that regard. Not saying he's a better player before someone cries, because we do get a lot of Spurs fans that cry that they love Højbjerg for some reason. But there we go. But anyway, look, I've got to go. I've got to go to the gym with my colourful bottle that I got for Secret Santa. So I've got to go to the gym, lift some weights before the game later on. But anyway, take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your days. Enjoy the rest of whatever it is that you're doing today. Enjoy it. Hopefully, it's better weather where it is than you are than it is where I am. And I'll speak to you all very soon to talk a little bit more about Spurs. Take care, everyone. Peace.